I can't afford a house. How many times have you said that? How many times have you even thought it? Here's the problem. Every time that you say those words, you're shutting down possibilities before you even explore them. So you're making a statement as if it's a permanent fact, when the truth is, it might just be your current reality. And current realities, those can change all the time. On today's Mind Your Money episode, I'm going to show you why the language that you use around home ownership matters more than you think, and what to say instead that will actually move you closer to your goal. I'm Sabria Callis, your partner in finding and funding your new home, helping renters and first time home buyers turn their dream of home ownership into reality. If you're new here, welcome. Make sure you hit the subscribe and tap the bell, because every week I share real world home ownership tips, Houston market insights, and inspiration to help you dream it, affirm it, and own it. I get it, y'all. Housing prices are insane right now. Interest rates have been on a roller coaster. Your rent keeps going up, and you're saving for a down payment feels like you're trying to fill a bathtub with a teaspoon. But here's what I've learned working with aspiring homeowners: the people who eventually buy homes aren't necessarily the ones that's making the most money. They're the ones who have asked better questions. They stopped saying, I can't afford a house, and they started asking, how can I afford a house? See the difference? One closes doors and the other one opens them. So today we're going to reframe this entire conversation and give you a practical roadmap on how to think about home ownership differently. Let's begin with something that might sound unfamiliar to some of you all, but it's actually backed by psychology. The language that you use shapes your reality. When you say that I can't afford a house, your brain actually hears that as a conclusion. Game over, no point exploring it further. But when you say I can't afford a house yet, or how can I make home ownership possible, your brain treats it as a problem to solve. So think about it like this. If someone asked you to solve a puzzle, you'd start looking for solutions. But if someone told you that the puzzle was impossible, you'd walk away. Same puzzle, different framing. Quick story for you guys. I had a friend named Shayla who said, I can't afford a house for 3 years straight. She made decent money. She had okay credit, but she just kept repeating this mantra over and over. Then one day, after a conversation that we had, she changed her question to, what would need to be true for me to afford a house? That simple shift led her to begin researching first time home buyer programs in her state. She discovered she qualified for down payment assistance programs. She found out that her credit score was better than she thought. She also learned about different loan options that she'd never even considered. And guess what? 18 months later, she had the keys to her first home. The only thing that changed was her language, which changed her mindset, which changed her actions. Okay, so if we're ditching, I can't afford a house, what should we be saying instead? I'm going to give you 5 powerful alternatives. Grab your pen, grab your paper. First one, I'm not ready to buy a house yet. Adding yet is transformative. It acknowledges your current situation while leaving room for growth. It's honest without being defeatist, right? What steps do I need to take to become a homeowner is second thing. This transforms your statement into an actionable question. Now you're in research mode, not in resignation mode. Third thing, I'm working toward home ownership. Even if you haven't started taking specific actions yet, claiming this identity matters. You're someone working toward a goal, not someone who has given up. Fourth thing, what creative paths to home ownership am I not considering? This is going to open your mind to alternatives that you might not know exist. Co-buying, house hacking, rent to own agreements, location on flexibility, fixer uppers, condos versus houses, and so much more. Lastly, how can I make this work with my current financial situation? This assumes there is a way, and that challenges you to find it, because here's the secret: there's probably a way, even if it's not the traditional path that you have not imagined. Notice how all of these reframe you to something important. It keeps you in motion. It keeps you curious. It keeps you engaged with your possibility rather than shutting down by the challenge. Now, let me be real with you for a second. I'm not here to blow sunshine and tell you that positive thinking alone will manifest you into a 3 bedroom ranch style home. Some of you genuinely can't afford a house right now, and that's okay. But here's what's not okay: confusing right now with forever. Let me break down what affording a house actually means, because most people get this wrong. It's not just about the purchase price, you guys. When we talk about affording a home, we're talking about several different things. First of all, down payment. That's typically 3 to 20% of the purchase price, though there are some programs that require zero down. We're talking about the monthly payment, principal, interest, taxes, insurance. A rough rule of thumb is that it shouldn't exceed 28% of your gross monthly income. Then those closing costs, that's usually 2 to 5% of the purchase price. Then you need to have some reserves, money left over for emergencies and maintenance. And we can't forget about your credit score. You need decent credit to qualify for a mortgage, usually 620 and above. Though some of the programs are available that will take it lower, but 620 is your minimum you want to shoot for. So when you say that I can't afford a house, which of these that I'm going to list is actually the blocker? Because the solution for each one of these are different. First one can say that you can't save enough money for a down payment. I want you to look into down payment assistance programs. FHA loans, that's 3.5% down, or USDA or VA loans. If you qualify, they're 0% down. If you say the monthly payment is too high, consider adjusting your price range, improving your credit score for better rates, maybe buying in a different area, house hacking to offset some of those costs associated. Then, what if you say your credit score is too low? That's a 6 to 12-month project with specific steps that you can take. If you don't have stable income, that's about career development and financial stability first, home ownership second. See, all of these, there are obstacles, but they have different solutions. But you can't identify the real obstacle if you're constantly using the blanket statement that I can't afford it. All right, let's get practical. If you're serious about changing your home ownership narrative, here's your action plan. Step one, I want you to get financially honest. It's going to take about a week. Sit down and actually run the numbers. What's your current credit score? Debt to income ratio, savings for down payment, monthly income versus potential housing payment. You can't solve a problem that you haven't defined. Get crystal clear on where you actually stand. In step two, you want to research your options. You're going to need about 2 weeks. This is where most people miss huge opportunities. I want you to look into first time home buyer programs in your state. FHA, VA, USDA loan options, down payment assistance programs, local housing authority resources. Many states and cities actually have programs that can help with down payments, closing costs, or offer lower interest rates. But you have to look for them, you guys. Give yourself 2 weeks to do so. Step three, you're going to talk to a mortgage lender. Not when you're ready to buy now. I want you to get pre qualified, not pre approved yet, just pre qualified. A good lender, they're going to tell you exactly what you need to do become mortgage ready. They might say, pay off this credit card, save another $3,000, and then you'll qualify for X amount. Now you have a specific target instead of a vague dream. Step four, I want you to create your gap closing plan. And this is going to be ongoing based on what you've learned. Create a specific plan. If you need to save X amount of dollars, how much per month is that? If you need to improve your credit by Y points, what specific actions will get you there? If you need to increase your income, what's your career development plan? Make it concrete, you guys. Make it measurable. Make it time bound. Step five, this is where you're going to review and adjust. Quarterly, every 3 months, check in on your progress. What's working? What's not? What new information have you learned? Home ownership preparation isn't a linear process, you guys. You'll discover new opportunities, encounter setbacks, and you're going to need to adjust the course. And that's normal. Here's something that most people don't consider. There are going to be multiple timelines for home ownership. Timeline one could be a 1 to 2 year plan for people who are close, but they need to fine tune their credit, save more, or wait for the right market conditions. You might be on timeline number two, the 3 to 5 year plan. Those are for people who need more substantial financial changes, paying off significant debt, building career income, or saving from scratch. Timeline three, y'all, could be the 10-year plus plan for people who are very early in their financial journey and they need to build fundamental stability first. All of these are valid. All of these are possible, but you can't execute on any of them if you've decided that it's impossible from the start. Let me leave you with this. Home ownership isn't about being perfect, it's about being prepared. I say it over and over again. You don't need to make six figures. You don't need a 20% down payment. You don't even need perfect credit, but you do need to stop treating home ownership like it's something that's happening to you and start treating it like something you work towards. Okay. That is the biggest difference between the people who actually achieve home ownership and the people who don't. It isn't luck, it isn't income, it's intentionality. The person who buys a home is the one who asked better questions, they researched their options, they took small steps consistently, they stayed focused instead of defeated, they adjusted their approach whenever they needed. So, starting today, I want you to retire "I can't afford a house" from your vocabulary. I need you to replace it with "I'm working toward home ownership. And guess what? Here's my plan." Because that's not just semantics, you guys. That's a completely different life trajectory. If you found this to be helpful and you want more actionable strategies for achieving home ownership, I've created something specifically for you. I publish a free newsletter called Keys to Home Ownership. This is where I break down everything that you need to know, from navigating mortgage options and finding hitting assistant programs to budgeting strategies and real estate market insights. I'm talking no fluff, no BS, just practical information that actually helps move you closer to your goal. You can subscribe using the link down below in the description. I send one email per week, and every single one is designed to give you clarity and confidence on your home ownership journey. Whether you are 6 months away from buying or 6 years away, this newsletter will meet you where you are and it's going to help you get where you want to go. Remember, the home that you live in 5 years from now is being built by the decisions that you make today. Make them count. And thanks for watching. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye now.